Hi, my name's Alan. Welcome to my messy apartment. This here is Magellan. Magellan is a long-haired Syrian hamster, and if you can see in the video, I'm actually not holding him that close to the camera. He's huge. He's a sweet, huge guy, and as a result, they don't actually make a whole lot of wheels for his size. Here you go. Put him back in his ball. He's doing a little ball dance. That's what he wants to do. Wants to have more ball time. It's a dance he does. So Magellan's gonna roll around, and I'm going to let him for about 10 minutes. But you won't notice because I'll edit the video out. Anyway, so the problem is there's no wheel on the market that's really good for him, except for a couple of ones on the market that are too expensive for him. So today we're going to make his own wheel out of a tortilla warmer, some shelf liner. Now with the shelf liner you want to be careful to smell it. Real close. It looks weird, I know, but if it smells off, your hamster's going to smell it a lot more than you do. So don't use it if it smells bad. Find some that smells good, or doesn't smell at all. That would be the best. I have Easy Liner Select Grip. I don't know anything else about it, but it smells fine. So. And finally, this. We're probably going to be using some bolts and nuts and wires and whatnot, but the main ingredients are the drum part, something that spins around, and something to make the surface of the wheel nice and soft, and something disposable, because you will be replacing the shelf liner if that's what you use, or whatever surface thing you use there. Alright, so for the drum, you just need anything round and big enough for your hamster. For the spinny thing, you could use anything. I found this at a hardware store. I needed one, and they only sold them in a 2-pack, so I ended up with this as extra. But if you want to use something else, there are many different things you can use. If you have something sitting around, anything that spins. This is an old hard drive that had been corrupted, so I opened it up, and you'll notice that this spins around really nicely. So that's another option if you don't have something like a wheel around. This is just going to be easier for us. So as you can see, I have scored the wheel that I'm going to drill the holes into, and have correspondingly scored the same places on the fajita warmer. The places I'm going to drill are here, 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 and here. Sorry about that, it's kind of hard to do that with the camera. And then the corresponding places are here, 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 and here. So 4 holes. And I got this scoring by using a compass and a ruler. And since this is a piece of black plastic, I used a Sharpie that silver. So it shows up really well. If you are really interested in making this project look like some kind of professional thing, then you probably want to buy a professional thing. This is going to look homemade, and it's going to look awesome homemade, because I have lots of Sharpies. Thank you, Aunt Susie. I have lots of Sharpies, and I did this. So as it goes around, it's going to look very fun. It's going to be fun to watch, and it's also going to look homemade. And I like that. I like the homemade type deal. But if you don't like that, then it probably isn't the time to tell you this, but this might not be the video for you. But if you like homemade and you're pinching the pennies, then you're in a good place. Okay, so I didn't drill these holes, or they would look much better. I'm living in an apartment complex and it's very late at night, and I didn't want to wake people up, so I didn't use my drill. Instead, I used my handy-dandy soldering iron. If you are going to use soldering iron with plastic, a few things to know. One, it's incredibly easy once the thing gets hot. It pushes right through plastic. But 2, it's incredibly dangerous. So, danger includes leaving it on something flammable. It'll probably reach the flash point of most things you put it on. Or burning yourself. So wear gloves. I do. I wear safety glasses and gloves whenever I'm working, which you don't see in this video because I'm not showing you the actual process because I have a camera that I would have to pick up my computer and it's just not going to work. But anyway, I made the holes with that soldering iron, and then I'm just going to go through and sand all the holes so they'll be nice and work well. And then we'll try to fit these two pieces together. So as you can see, it fits on with all the nuts. I've just put it on there for the moment to make sure that it works, convince myself that I'm not wasting my time, and hopefully convince you as well. So it's not actually on there. We haven't put any washers on yet. It's just to see if it does this. And it does. It spins and it's pretty well balanced. So that's why we did all that scoring, to make sure that it would be balanced. Because if it's wobbly, then it's going to be wobbly for your hamster, and that's not going to be ideal. So I've gone through and scored using an object that is round enough for Magellan to fit through. But this is just a lid to a metal lid to a candle, and it's plenty big for him. Since I'm making a wooden wheel style wheel, he needs to have little holes so he can get through, instead of just having an open side. And so I've gone through and marked my 4 corners. I had marked 4 because it was just easy on the math. Just find the center point and the largest distance on your compass or ruler from that, and you found the points that you used to mark the 4 sides, and then cut out these lovely little holes. I'm going to use plastic. At this point, it's not plastic welding. I am going to use plastic welding to fit the bottom to the top, but I'm going to use the soldering iron again. So after the soldering iron, I end up with this, with 4 holes in it. Another couple words about safety using the soldering iron on plastic. To either do plastic welds or plastic cutouts, one thing to remember is that you need a well-ventilated area. I use the outdoors, and you might even use a fan behind you so that you're sure that you're downwind, because those fumes are no joke. They smell bad, and nature gave you the sense to know that things that smell bad are bad because you don't want them near you. So do make sure that you're downwind so that you don't smell those fumes. The second thing that I was thinking about while I was doing that, and it wasn't in my plans, I had originally planned to plastic weld these 2 pieces together, but the reason that I'm kind of copying the design of the wooden wheel in a way is because of its one, because rodents love to have this corner that they can feel safe in, but 2, because you can take off the wooden wheel's outer lid and clean it easier, clean the wheel more easily. So I'm thinking about ways to connect this, and right now my idea is that I'm going to use a piece of electrical tape, because that's something that so far Magellan hasn't shown any interest in chewing. But you don't want to use anything that your hamster might chew, especially concerning adhesives or chemicals. So what I'm going to do right now is sand down all the parts that I used the soldering iron on, and then I'm going to attach everything together. Okay, now before we attach this piece to this piece, you want to think about how you want to attach it to your cage. So do you want a base, the freestanding base, the sort of classic design, or do you want to attach it to the cage itself? If you want to attach it to the cage itself, you're going to want to do the same thing we did on the front, the part that fits to this piece, on the back, or maybe just two holes, but in some way you want to have holes there and screws already through it before you attach this to this. Otherwise you won't be able to get into that area and get the screws in. So right now I'm going to attach this to the base because I plan on hanging this to the side of the bin cage that I made for Maggie. So I've attached the wheel to the spinner, and it's time to give it a test. Just grab hold, very the way you want to do it. Spin it around, see if it wobbles a lot. If it doesn't wobble a lot, then it should be alright. Looks like all our work marking things up were pretty good, and should be an alright wheel. So now the problem comes of how do you attach it to the cage. Since I have this wheel design, I mean, you can do it in many ways, but since I have this other wheel I can work with, I'm going to lace rope behind it and hang that over the side of the bin cage that I made. So let's see how that works. So before we install it, this is the finished project as is. Other than installing, that's what we got. The thing that goes round and round with hopefully not much effort and not much sound. So I just thought that after I got all this together and I was thinking, oh, I'm not going to attach it with bolts, I decided that maybe I might. So I have to deconstruct it, reconstruct it, etc. But for tonight, this is what I got. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this is a mock-up model of how I'm going to install it. I just had this piece of plastic left over from the lid of his bin cage. So I went ahead and installed it on this to see that it would work alright and it wouldn't be too floppy. And it looks to be working. At first I thought I was going to install it this way, and I saw that it's a lot less stable that way. So it's a lot less stable this way as opposed to this way. So lesson learned, and learned before I had a bunch of headaches with it. So good on that. A couple of things to say is I used instead of this stuff, the fabric liner, I used just the duct tape in there. Actually, it's not duct tape; it's Gorilla Glue tape. And the reason I use that is because it's going to be easy to clean, and I'm not going to have to replace it at all or as often. And I tried it out with him, and he loved it. So I figure it works. So if you've ever done a DIY project, you know that things don't always work out the way you think they're going to work out. When I installed the wheel, I noticed that it was still kind of wobbly. So I reinstalled the metal part that I took off earlier from the chair wheel and used it to anchor the wheel itself. Because instead of having a freestanding base, I really wanted to attach it to the bin cage to conserve on space and to make things look cleaner for Maggie. So that's what I did. In the back here you see that wire that I attached to the metal prong on the wheel coming back, and I just connected it to the two places that I used nuts to bolt the wheel into. Here you see Maggie enjoying his wheel, and these are a couple of videos of him and the finished project. Maggie enjoying a bit of a run. He likes to sniff his food intermittently while jogging, and so I moved the food a little farther away and he doesn't do that as much, and he really does enjoy his new wheel. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have great projects in store, and happy DIY!